Some people think that they don't deserve love. They walk away quietly into empty spaces, trying to close the gaps of the past. Good morning, everybody, and welcome back to High Desert Adventures. It sounded like a big-ass fish was jumping right over here. Today, we're at an undisclosed location here in southern central Idaho, and we're along the Snake River, what you can see behind me here. And this is potentially my camp spot for the night. Looks like a pretty good spot, should be a very peaceful view. There is a road just behind us here, but it's not a heavily traveled road. Might bring a little bit of road noise in the background, but hopefully not too much. But this looks like a pretty decent spot right here on the bank of the Snake River. It's going to allow us to do some fishing. I brought my tent and my full setup for cooking and everything. Got some good meals planned. Pretty beautiful. Fish are jumping, so hopefully we can pull something in. Maybe do a catch and cook. Not sure on that yet. Depends on if we catch anything and what we catch. But I got a little bit of trash to clean up from some previous campers, so I'm going to do that first. That's why I got these gloves on. So I'm going to grab a bag and clean up some trash first. Then I'll give you guys a full tour of the camp spot and what it looks like and get this day going. There are some huge fish jumping. I just saw them jump out of the water right here. Couldn't tell if it was a bass or a big ass trout, but something's jumping, so might have to start the day getting a line out in the water first. Anyways, been here for 5 minutes. I already have a full bag of trash. Please, people, no matter where you're at in the country, when you're out there camping and cooking and fishing and all that, please clean up after yourselves. Leave no trace. Leave it better than you found it. There is a trash can right over here, but I don't know if I want to leave that out here, so I'm just going to toss it in the back of the truck for now and pack it out with me. Got the truck backed up right here. A nice view of the river. That's where the fish was jumping out of the water, right over there. Looks like this was where people were having fires. I did bring firewood, but I'm not sure if I'm going to start a fire here tonight. Maybe, we'll see, but this is what we're working with. A little dirt trail to get down here from that way. Nice flat spot back here to put up the tent. Probably end up putting it up right here. Up right over there is where that road is. I would think it'd quiet down after a certain time of the day, but not a bad view, huh? So I'm thinking before I get everything unloaded and set everything up, probably gonna throw a line out in the water. Let's do that. Fish are jumping right now. All right, so for the setup I'm gonna use right now, just got one of these clear plastic egg floaters, little slide floater, swivel. This is a 10-pound main line. I think this is a 6-pound lead. Got a decent sized leader, and I'm gonna be using one of these flies. One of my buddies from work made these, and these tend to work really good around this area here, so I'm just gonna flick it out there, slowly retrieve it, maybe speed it up on the retrieval a little bit. Just try to tease something with a little fly floating on the top. See if we could pull something in. But first, I gotta go fill up this floater with some water. Oh shit. Fish just jumped right over there. Well, no luck on the first setup, not even any bites, but they're out there jumping. And it's still super early in the day. It's only 8:30 in the morning. And it did bring a ton of setups for bass, trout, everything, but we got all day, and this is really peaceful. So I think I'm gonna make some coffee, and I'll throw the other setup out there, which is a bottom bait setup, a bait and weight setup. Throw that out there and just kind of leave the pole out there, see if it could bring something in. I did not add my second pole to my license, so I can't use two poles at the same time. I have to switch back and forth between one pole, put it away, and the other one, you know, just to be safe. I may have enough cell service to log onto the app real quick and add that in. Might do that, but I think I'm just gonna throw the other one out there because they're jumping, they're biting, they're hungry. So I think I'm gonna throw the other pole out there and make some coffee. Now this other setup, I don't know if you can see it. It's got a slide weight, swivel. I think this is 6 pound lead and 4 pound, sorry, 6 pound test and 4 pound lead. And I got this little mice tail here with a size 10 J hook. Just gonna cast this out there and let it sit on the bottom, and then the mice tail will naturally float. Hopefully draw in one of these fish. Well, it wasn't the greatest cast, but it'll work for now, hopefully. Still early. Might have to change to a heavier weight, get a little more distance on the cast, but we'll see. Right out there. Gotta have the oat milk creamer. And I brought two kinds of coffee with my silicone press on the jet boil. Got some Don Francisco's Mayan blend, a little bit darker roast. And I got some chocolate raspberry tort, medium roast. This one pairs really well with that sweet oat milk creamer. My mom sent me both of these. Thanks, Mom. I know it's only been a couple hours since my last cup of coffee. Don't judge me. All right, we got our boil. Whew, hot. I love this chocolate raspberry tort.
It's a bit nutty.
I'm just gonna dump a nice, good, healthy amount in there. Almost forgot to stir it. Stir, stir, stir. It smells so good. It's not too sweet. It's got a good, strong coffee flavor, but that chocolate and raspberry both make their way through. These fish are jumping. I gotta figure out what they like and pull me in something good. Now with this jet boil press, I usually like to stir it for a couple minutes. Maybe even let it sit for a couple minutes before I press it down and pour it. Gonna let that sit for a couple minutes here. All right, it's been long enough. Ooh, that's hot. Ooh, holy shit, that's hot. Lovely. It smells so freaking good. I'll let that sit for another minute before I try to drink it. Doesn't get much better than this. It's always when you're trying to film a YouTube video that your go-to fishing setups just don't work and you don't catch shit. Couldn't catch a cold butt naked in the winter. All right, well, it's been a little while, still no bites, but they're still jumping, so I switched to a heavier slide weight, a little bit longer lead, and I went to a more natural color mice tail, hoping this gets me a little better luck. I'm just gonna cast this guy out and let it sit, the old bait and wait. This setup has got me a lot of fish nearby this area in the past, but that's at stocked ponds, not at the river itself, so. All right, let's hope we have some better luck. Well, it's been a couple hours now. I think it might be time to go back to the flies or try a new setup entirely. I have some jigs and worms for a bass setup. Let's see, I got some spinners. I haven't set up camp yet because I want to see how the day goes a little bit longer before I commit to this spot here. I think I might actually set up my tent over here on that side of the tree. has a better view of the river and everything like that for when I wake up in the morning. But before I set anything up, I want to see how it goes with the bugs and the weather, if it gets too windy and all that, and kind of see how the day turns out before I commit to this spot here. But I have a backup plan if I do not camp here at this spot. It's a little bit of a drive, but I got a backup plan because we're camping out. We're escaping the weekly grind. You know how it goes. This fly I'm using looks exactly like what's buzzing around on the top of the water, so I'm surprised I'm not getting any bites on this thing. Kind of doing a somewhat faster retrieval and then stopping and then reeling in faster and then stopping. It's exactly what these flies are doing on the top of the water here, so I'm trying to mimic that. It has been another uneventful hour since I last checked in, so I'm officially switching to a bass setup. Just using this 1/4 ounce jig head, and this is a peanut butter worm, I think, peanut butter and jelly worm. Cut it down a little bit, just running it right off the 10-pound line. I used this setup when I was kayaking, fishing for bass on the Snake River last year, and they seem to love it. So I'm gonna strap you guys up to the chest here and hope we got some luck. All right, let's jig for some bass and see if we get any luck with that. A little rusty on the bass fishing. Haven't done a whole lot of it since I moved up here a couple years ago. Do a lot more trout fishing than anything. But I have caught a couple different smallmouth up here. And a lot of people lately have been catching some really good bass. So I've actually never used this setup, fishing from the bank like this. This is a setup I used when I was kayak fishing. Just drop it off the side of the kayak and just bounce the jig up and down. So if I'm doing something wrong here, go ahead and roast me in the comments. Or don't, that'd be cool too. I'm pretty sure I got a fish on, but I have been fooled before. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, baby. Oh yeah. Is that a northern pike minnow? Is that what that is? Oh, what in the hell is that? Oh, let me flip my barrel. That looks like shit. I don't know what that is. Get that out of you, boy. Shit, what the hell is that? That's not walleye, is it? Shit, I don't even have my phone on me to take a picture. God, he's a good sized fish. I don't know what he is. It's either a pike minnow or a walleye. God, I wish I knew what he was so I knew to keep him or not, but since I don't know what he is, he gets to live. Other way, dude. There he goes. Holy shit, he was quick. All right, we got the skunk out of the way. Hell yeah. Got a nice, heavy, good-sized fish. Forgive me if I don't know what fish that is. He looked to me like a bigger pike minnow that I caught. I caught a similar one up in Cascade last summer, end of last summer. But I don't know, maybe it was a walleye. Kind of looked like a walleye to me, but we're on the board. Let's see if we can get another one. Okay, so I referenced a picture that I had saved in my phone from Labor Day weekend last year when I was up in Cascade, Idaho, fishing in Cascade Lake. And I'm pretty sure what I caught was a northern pike minnow. That was a good size and a good weight too. I'm wondering if those are good eats. I mean, I have no idea. I've never heard about anybody eating them, but if you know if those are good eats, let me know down in the comments when I come back and fish here again. If they're good, I'm keeping something like that. That was a heavy ass fish. That was really good size. And what I was doing was just casting it out and just doing a slow reel. I wasn't doing the jig bounce up and down. And notice when I do that, it's just getting stuck in the mud because the jig head I'm using might be a little bit big for how deep the river is right here. But we're on the board. We got the skunk out of the way. If you fish, or if you're a content creator and you're trying to make fishing a part of your video and you keep getting skunked, not a good feeling. Or even if you're just fishing and you're getting skunked, it's not a good feeling. We're on the board. I'm gonna keep going, because even if it's a fish I'm not gonna keep and eat, still want to catch another fish. I'm gonna keep casting out. It's getting a little bit windy now. Still not 100% sold on camping here, just because the bugs, the flies are pretty prevalent, if that's the correct word. And I have a good meal plan, and I don't want my meal or my cooking area to be swarmed with bugs. But this is very peaceful. I mean, there's no one else around except for the cars driving by back there, which kind of sucks. But I've never camped in the canyon along the river like this, and this would be a spot where there wouldn't be any bad neighbors. Like if I went down to the South Hills, it's always a potential. But I mean, this is nice. This is peaceful. Leaning towards just camping here. It's kind of nice. You can hear the cars driving by behind me, I'm sure. But I mean, there's no other campsites around. Oh, there's one right over on the other side of these trees and bushes, but nobody's there. And it is a Wednesday, so I don't know if anybody would show up and camp out here during the week. So we'll see if I'm gonna get back to fishing. Yeah, they're still jumping everywhere. Well, I think that pike minnow must have ran and told all of his or swam and told all of his homies not to bite that big juicy looking peanut butter jelly worm, because no more bites after that. But they're still jumping, so I got another setup I'm gonna try. It's gonna be the same jig head hook, but I'm gonna try one of those gulp minnows, like the 3-inch or the 4-inch minnows. I saw a YouTuber from Colorado who fishes for trout using those minnows and has really good luck with them. I've actually never tried them, but I've been carrying them around in my tackle bag for a couple of years now. So I'm gonna throw one of those on, give that a shot, see if that pulls in anything. The only downside is these guys smell like crap. I also have these jigs too, these power tubes. These things are supposed to work really good too. I might try some of those. I'm gonna have to wash my hands real good after this, because these things stink. I haven't used the chest rig on the GoPro in a while, probably since last year, so hopefully it's getting some good footage. Peanut butter and jelly worm. Worked on bass and on, pretty sure that was pike minnow. Yeah, I think I want them like that. I think I should have put the hook on the bottom side now that I'm looking at them, but we'll give it a shot. I don't think that was a snag. I'm pretty sure something's biting at him. Looks good swimming through the water, even with a hook on top. Yeah, it looks really good. Yeah, I gotta be steady on the reel on this one, because it looks like he's nose diving. Oh yeah, that guy wants him. Oh yeah, that guy over there was biting at him. Try to reel it steady so it looks like it's just a little fish naturally passing by. All right, so the bites calmed down on that gulp minnow. So I'm gonna give the fishing a break for a little minute and just throw that bottom bait and weight setup back out there. Probably set up camp. As you guys can see, I moved my truck over back in the shade underneath the trees. So I might end up using this flat ground right here to set up my tent. So I got a nice little view of the lake in the morning. Basically right here where you're looking, nice flat spot there. And that'd be my view in the morning. Or, these damn bugs, that's the only thing about this camp spot. Or I use this flat ground here to set up the tent, looking that way in the morning. Still gonna give it a minute here. Still got several hours of daylight. Yeah, just gonna chill for a minute, maybe snack a little bit, do a little more reading, and just kind of sit in front of the lake in the chair and see if anything bites that bait and weight setup. How cool is that? I'm almost 100% sure that was a pike minnow, which would be my second one I've ever caught. The first one was in Cascade, like I said, Labor Day last year. But this one was huge compared to the one I caught last year. Last year was super small. This one was actually pretty girthy, pretty fat. But anyways, yeah, I'm gonna chill out. See you guys in a minute. Did bring some firewood. Still debating on using that fire pit or not. Want to be smart and want to be safe and respect the area, but it's obviously been used before and used recently, but brought some just in case. Got a 30-degree sleeping bag. This is one of the ones I bought last year from Amazon. Didn't keep me warm in cold weather, but it's pretty warm here, so I might use this one. But I do also have my 0-degree sleeping bag that I use all winter that works pretty dang well. So maybe I'll use that one just to be safe. So this is a World Famous Sports is the brand. Front range square dome style tent. Sleeps 3. Let's get it set up. And this is a lot bigger than I remember it. Not bad. Not bad at all. I don't know if I want to use the rainfly. That's not very much airflow. Might end up taking that thing off. We shall see. All right, there's our tent. May take the rainfly off because there's no airflow whatsoever. I know it gets chilly at nighttime. Still this time of year we get a little bit of cold temps at night, but we'll see. There you go. Plenty roomy in here. I'm gonna lay the cot down in here. Throw the sleeping bag. Oh shit. And it was at this moment he knew he f***ed up. Son of a gun. I forgot to bring a pillow. I didn't bring a pillow from home or one of my backpacking pillows. That blows. Gonna have to do the old rolled up clothes in a stuff sack and use that as a pillow trick. Oh shit, that sucks. Oh well, get this cot set up. We'll work on the pillow later. Got my backpack with my clothes and other miscellaneous items and what's gonna be my pillow inside there. Set the pack inside the tent. I can't believe I forgot a pillow. For being a guy who's an overpacker and an overprepper, to forget a pillow and to also forget bug candles, citronella or anything of that nature. Really surprised at myself, but we'll be fine. Coleman burner, cookware and cooking utensils and stuff, seasonings. Got paper towels, paper plates, aluminum foil, silverware, dish soap, propane. I think I still got some left in this one. And I got some cast iron skillets. If you watched my channel before, you already know what we're using this for. Got some dirt and dust all over the lens. Is that better? So one downside of this campsite so far is not only the bugs, but the dust, the sand. But this is my little camp kitchen setup. Got the goods in the ice chest. Got our 2-burner stove with a couple of cast iron skillets. The wash station. Got a little table here. I'll use this to eat on in my chair over there once we're actually eating. But this has my cookware set, cutting boards, spatulas, knives, forks, spoons, seasonings, skewers, my barbecue lighters, spatulas and stuff, can opener. So once I'm ready to cook, this is going to be where we're cooking at. So not a bad little setup. Tent by the river. Probably will do a fire, but just keep it small. Chop up some firewood later. This is like the little fire pit that people have been using. I'm not thrilled about it, but if I keep it small and respectable, we should be all right. Still no bites on that bait and weight setup. Got my chair over here that I was doing some reading at. And that's our view. So it's not quite dinner time yet. Might do a little more fishing. Got some color on the arms, color on the body a little bit. Finally get some sunshine and get a little bit of color. But wind's picking up a little. Still would like to do a little more fishing, maybe put on one of those tube jigs. But freaking dust is blowing everywhere. I really hope the wind calms down, which it probably won't, but this is our setup. I'm gonna hang out for a little bit, and I'll either check in with some more fishing or I'll check in when it's time to cook dinner. Fish on, and I forgot my freaking GoPro. Gonna have to film it in the net. Got another pike minnow. Lipped him just perfectly too. Another good sized one. Get that hook out and let him go. All right, let's let this guy go. Other way, dude. Other way. Of course, I just threw out some casts without my GoPro, and I caught my second fish. Another pike minnow, not as big as the first one, but we ain't getting skunked. It's getting a little windy. Of course, right after I set up my tent and cook setup and everything, the wind's picking up and blowing dust everywhere, which is not the most desirable camping situation, but we'll see how it goes. It's still only 4:30. All right, so I think I'm gonna call it on the fishing for today. Settled for those 2 pike minnows. First one was really big, second one was okay, decent size, but we didn't get skunked. That's what's important. So for the rest of the video, I'm gonna be focusing solely on the camping aspect of this trip. So this is my camp kitchen setup for today. Hopefully it's freaking bugs. Hopefully it's got somewhat of a decent background for you guys. Can't really tell if the lighting's too great. I got a couple lights on coming this way, so hopefully the lighting's good enough. So for dinner, I haven't had a steak in a while, so I had to go with the ribeye steak. Pretty simple, pretty basic, but I haven't had steak in a while and it sounded really good. And Fred Meyer has really good meats, so I picked up a ribeye from them. And I'm just gonna keep it simple and do a little side of asparagus. So without further ado, I'm gonna fire up this burner and get to cooking. Gonna be using some extra virgin olive oil and some Kerrygold Irish butter in both pans. Oh shoot, wind's picking up. First things first, I'm gonna pat this steak dry and get it seasoned. It's gonna be really hard to do this in the wind. I'll do my best. I did already wash my hands. Put some butter in this olive oil mix. Notice on these camping burners, you gotta be careful how high you turn them because they get really, really hot really quickly. For the steak, I'm gonna be using Kinder steak blend. And for the asparagus, the blend, salt, pepper, garlic. Mix the butter around into the olive oil in both pans. Drop in the asparagus first since it'll take longer to cook. I'm just doing this as quick and easy as possible before it gets super windy, just in case. Freaking bees and flies and all kinds of shit out here. Anybody who knows this area of southern Idaho would tell me, yeah, what the hell did you expect? And this is what I expected. I just didn't think it'd be as bad as it is already. Hope this fits in this pan. Barely. Woo. I like my steaks medium rare, so I'm thinking probably 5 minutes or so each side, something like that. Thinking that fire tonight might be out of the question with how windy it is. Might have to do what I'm gonna do for a dessert snack with the flames from the burner. I'm not 100% certain if that's healthy or safe, but we're camping. I'm gonna wash my hands real quick, then I'll grab the camera and show you the food. All right, this is what we're working with. Out here, camping in a tent with a truck down by the river. In a van down by the river. I'm actually gonna season up the asparagus a little more. Asparagus is done, coming off. I'm gonna plate that and I'm gonna cover it up so these damn flies don't get to it. Steak should be done in a couple of minutes. I'm just gonna do a little more sear. And we're gonna go sit down in our chair. We're gonna use this table that all our shit's on right now. And we're gonna eat steak and asparagus at the river with that view. All right, I think this steak's done. Hopefully it's not overcooked. Oh yeah. Goddamn bees and these bugs. Not bad, eh? I'm gonna let this chill for a minute before I slice it up. Then we'll go plate it up over there and sit down and eat. All right, well, I got the steak diced up. It's a little more on the medium side and medium rare. But it's got a nice sear. Looks tender. Either way, it's a ribeye steak. Cooked in the outdoors. Can't go wrong. Mm-hmm. Definitely cooked to medium. Not as rare as I like it, but it is delicious. And I'm washing down tonight's meal with some simply pressed apple. I love this shit. Oh, so good. Let's try some of this asparagus. Could have been a little more on the crispy side, but it's really cooked actually kind of perfect. Not gonna lie, I wasn't 100% thrilled about this campsite as the day went on. Just the amount of flies and bugs and bees, and had to pick up a bunch of trash that someone left behind, but I know that's always gonna be part of it. Even the wind and the dust. Found a tick on the outside of my tent, but got rid of it. Checked throughout the tent, inside and out, there's no other ticks. Checked myself, my clothing, my shoes, no ticks. But then after the wind picked up, it was kind of like, I don't know if I want to camp here tonight. But every time I look out at that river and the canyon walls, it's kind of hard not to feel at peace. You know, I'm down here alone at the river, caught a couple of fish, escaped that weekly grind. Got to give and take with every campsite you go to. You know, if I would have drove down south to the South Hills, there could have been a lot of people. Could have been some not so pleasant camp neighbors. Could have been just as windy down there too, to be honest. But anyways, I'm extremely grateful for today, and it's gonna be nice sleeping out here by the river and waking up with this view. And then I got a good breakfast planned for tomorrow too. So this ain't the end of the video. This ain't the end of the meals. So I'm gonna wolf this down. I don't think anybody needs to see me wolf down a plate of food. And we'll check back in. That was delicious. Even when you cook a steak a little past your liking, as long as you don't overcook it to the point that it's like chewing on leather, can't really go wrong, you know? Steak and asparagus, simple but delicious. Whew, now I am full. Gotta let this digest so I could have my camp snack, dessert snack kind of thing. Need to let this sit for a minute. Now this is the part of solo adventures that a lot of vloggers don't show in their videos. Solitude. I always use the outdoors as a way to clear my mind. But this time, for some reason, it was too clear. Thoughts poured in, past experiences, thoughts of the future, things I've been feeling lately, and the whole experience just got kind of overwhelming. I think for the first time ever, I kind of didn't want to be out there alone. It wasn't because of fear or wildlife or anything like that. Just the solitude didn't feel right this time around. My body wasn't feeling 100%. I was frustrated with myself for forgetting a pillow and bug candles. I was kind of upset that this campsite didn't turn out the way I had hoped, and feeling the pressure of filming my experience and sharing it with everyone in a positive manner just kind of felt a little too much at the moment. This is when I started to second guess whether I really wanted to camp out there tonight. I look forward to my adventures being alone all week throughout the work week. I just can't wait to get to the next adventure, my next trip, my next experience in the outdoors alone. But this time, kind of just felt like I'd rather be in the comfort of my home. It just didn't feel right being out there. Just before his unfortunate death in the Alaskan bush, Christopher McCandless wrote in his journal that happiness is only real when shared with others. Sometimes I feel like this is very true. It's really weird. I don't know how to explain it. It's what I love to do. It's what I look forward to all week. This is beautiful. This is peaceful. I keep trying to find reasons to explain it to myself. Definitely wasn't the theme of the video I had in mind. Wanted to do a fishing and camping all in one. Lined up a good meal for dinner. At least we got that done. Caught some fish. Found a little peace. Did some reading. Really wanted to wake up, see the sunrise out here, and cook a good breakfast and take my time packing up tomorrow, but I don't know, the more I try to think of just toughing it out, filming a good video, telling myself that I'm going to enjoy myself, and it's not that I'm not enjoying myself, it's not that I didn't have a great time. I don't know, I just feel like I'm forcing it. I feel like I had a good day, and it's just such a double-edged sword, because then you go home and you're alone at home too. But something about being in the comforts of home sometimes just feels better, which I never say that. Anybody that knows me knows. Like my people at work all week, somebody asked me, so what's your next adventure? So what do you got this week? Like, this is what I love to do. I just keep telling myself right now, like, it'll take me 30 minutes to pack up. There's still 2 hours of daylight. And I feel like if you're not fully into it and you force it, that's when you get miserable, and that's when the experience becomes unenjoyable. It's just weird. I don't know how to explain it. This is a first, that's for damn sure. Normally at the end of every adventure I'm feeling bittersweet because I don't want to pack up and leave, but I think I'm ready to go home for right now. And that's exactly what I did. I packed up and I headed back to the place that I always can't wait to escape the most. Home. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to my kitchen in my home. I'm actually cooking the breakfast that I was going to be cooking down by the river this morning. Figured this is a good time to explain some things and talk about a couple things from the video you guys are watching. So I'm making some bacon, eggs, and blueberry pancakes. Don't judge me. Usually make better pancakes than that, but I had them pre-mixed in a water bottle yesterday for camping reasons. So it was never my intention for this video to have the theme that it had. It was never my idea to make this video about what it's about. Kind of just took that direction after I got home yesterday and did some thinking and watched some footage and realized this is actually a pretty valid topic that I feel like we could talk about. So let me focus on cooking some of this stuff up and we'll get right into it. Not quite as scenic as if I was eating it down by the river, but it's gonna have to do for right now. Blueberry pancakes, bacon, and eggs. I've always been a sucker for some good pancakes. I like my bacon crispier. What about you guys? Those eggs are delicious. Simply pressed apple juice to wash it all down. I'm gonna wolf this down before we talk about anything else from the video. That way I can give it my full undivided attention. Check in with you guys in a minute. Well, that was delicious. I'm gonna clean up real quick and then we'll get right into it. Just a fair warning, this may be a long rant. We'll call it a long conversation. So I apologize in advance if it is, but there's a lot of valid points I think we can use this opportunity to talk about. First things first, I'm in good spirits. I slept very well last night, slept almost 8 hours, slept until 8 a.m. this morning, which is completely uncharacteristic of me. And I know I made the right choice to come home. It felt good getting home. And I actually did watch some footage last night and go over a couple things. And like I mentioned, there was never the intention to make a video of that theme. Yesterday was supposed to be half cinematic, half fun, camping and fishing and just chilling, hanging out and just showing you guys a nice fun experience. And then after getting home and watching some footage, I realized like this is a perfect opportunity to show the highs and lows of solo adventures. Because so many people ask me in my weekly work life, my daily life, so many people ask me, how do you always do these crazy things by yourself? Like, you're always out there. What do you got lined up next? You know, you're going to go with someone. I think that brings up a very valid point we could talk about. And a lot of people on YouTube have even asked me that question, or TikTok or Instagram. And I've always told them, you know, you just get out and do it. You know, be smart about it, but just get out and do it. The first time you do it, it makes the second time easier. It makes the third time easier. And then for me personally, I found a way to thrive in doing solo adventures to the point now where I really don't ever want people to come with me on a lot of my adventures. I like doing things solo because it's a rewarding experience. It kind of builds some personal character, if you will. But to get deeper into that, but not too deep, I think we need to have some backstory explained. So I am 37, going on 38 this year. I am divorced, single, no kids. I get to do what I want, when I want, however I want, wherever I want. And I've learned to thrive in that situation, and it is a blessing. And I've done some of the most amazing things in my life the last year and found a way to thrive and be more comfortable in solitude than I am around big crowds of people or nearby people in general. Now, I do have an amazing circle of people here in Idaho, and it's always been a dream of mine since young kid to live in Idaho, and I'm very blessed to make that happen. But in all honesty, lately, there's been times, and it's weird because it's not on backpacking trips, but on like stationary camping trips, truck camping or tent camping, whatever you want to call it, that it kind of gets to me a little bit, and I kind of feel like I wouldn't mind a partner for this experience, a friend, a homie. Despite all the amazing people I'm surrounded by in Idaho, a lot of them are all married, have kids have sports, other obligations and stuff like that, and don't always have the ability to just pick up and dip out somewhere like I do. And that's 100% understandable. No, I have made the choice personally not to let the lack of an adventure partner stop me from doing the things I want to do. I feel like everything I've done alone has been a true test of my willpower, my character, my resilience, all of that, and it teaches me a lot. Now, with yesterday, I was thinking all night and all morning about how I can justify this to myself. How can I explain it to myself? How can I make sense of it? Because it even caught me off guard. And I think I kept trying to find excuses to justify it or explain it to myself, when really at the end of the day, it was completely just about the solitude, being alone down there. Sick, Harley. Yeah, it was just a feeling that I was not comfortable with. And the whole time I was driving home through this area out there that's farmlands and ranches and big, beautiful homes and big trucks and side-by-sides and then kids running around in the street. In my position in life, I can't help but feel, when I see that, happy for people, but also I question what I'm doing and where I'm at in life. You know, again, being able to do what I want, when I want, how I want, wherever I want, it's all great. And I love it, and I'm blessed for it, and I have a happy life. I'm happy, healthy, I'm a great spirited person. I'm better than I've ever been in life. But, you know, I'm blessed with parents who are going on 40 years of marriage this August, and they always sacrificed for me and my brothers, and we had a very normal life. Not an easy life, but a normal life. 2 parents in the same household, a roof over our heads, clothes on our backs, shoes on our feet, food on our table. And my brother is also a married man with a family and a home and everything. I can't help but have always wanted to be like my brother and my dad, and always wanted that for myself too. And going from having a home and being married to not having kids and not having a home that I own, or a marriage or other priorities or obligations that give you fulfillment, it's kind of, sometimes it does get to me, being at 37 going on 38. I think that's just normal as people. Now, the reason I bring this up is because these kind of thoughts come to play in certain situations when you're alone in the outdoors. It's amazing how, on my personal trips and my personal experience, how I can carry all this stuff with me throughout the week of, like, I'm the only one to do my laundry, do my dishes, cook, clean, grocery shop, pay bills, work a full-time job, find time for myself, which takes time and effort of filming, editing, packing, unpacking. It's a lot. A lot goes into your weekly work week or your weekly mind, and you're the only person to share that burden with is yourself, you know? So when I get into the outdoors, I'm able to put all that on hold 99.99% of the time. But this time, it just kind of reared its ugly head. And I really considered not even putting this footage out of the video at all, period. And I didn't even want to really open up this much, but I'm a guy with a camera, and this is real life. None of this is staged, none of this is faked or fronted. With the theme of my channel and my life being a solo adventure, I cannot portray just the sunshine and rainbows. It ain't always daisies and sunflowers out here, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, it's real life, you know? You got to factor these things in if you're somebody who's looking to get into solo adventures. I 110% endorse it and back it up, and I think it's done amazing wonders for my life, and I'm going to keep doing it. But the real life aspect of it is sometimes the solitude, sometimes being out there with nothing but your thoughts, staring at a river or a campfire or whatever. Sometimes it can rear its ugly head into a double-edged sword, and you have to be able to persevere through that, allow thoughts without judgment, and treat yourself the same way you would treat your best friend who has things that they're dealing with. You know, that same kind of support and love that you would show a friend, you got to show yourself. Now, for me personally, yesterday, it just didn't feel right being out there. I just didn't want to be out there. I wanted to be home. I wanted to sleep comfortably. I was frustrated at myself for forgetting a couple things. And it's weird how in a backpacking situation, I feel 10 times more comfortable on an air mattress 3 inches thick on the floor in a small tent than I do in a big 3-person tent with a cot and a sleeping bag and all this extra stuff, you know. But I personally am a firm believer in God. I do feel like God has been with me every step of the way in my life and never given up on me, even at the times where I gave up on him. I do believe that God has a plan for everyone, whether that's your beliefs or not. Everyone is entitled to their own opinion and their own set of beliefs. This is just me speaking on mine personally. And I know that I'm on the right track and I'm doing the right things, and I'm going to keep doing them because it's been the most amazing experience for my life and been the biggest factor in me changing my ways and making the most of my life. I'm going to keep doing what I'm doing. I'm going to keep going in full force. I actually do have a potential camping trip lined up with a buddy of mine from work who's become like a brother to me, a big brother to me. We've done a lot of fishing together, and every time we fish, he outfishes me by double digits, meaning like 10-0, 13-0 over and over again. And it's okay though, because remember, like you said, if you're watching this, it's not about that. It's not about the competition. It's just about hanging out, right? So the scoreboard doesn't matter. But I am completely open to setting up some adventures with an adventure partner in the future, whether it's a buddy of mine, whether it's somebody I meet along the way. But I think it's time to kind of open up to friendship and companionship again. Not that I don't have friends, because I got a ton. Like I said, I just don't have a ton of like-minded friends in the way we live our lives, and that's totally fine. I'm sitting in the truck right now because I'm going to go to storage and take my camping stuff and put it away for now. But I just wanted to get this out there and explain this and use this as an opportunity to hopefully inspire people in a similar position to mine. Battle through the thoughts that come up, you know, battle through them. Just stay strong. Use the outdoors as a way to release and a way to process thoughts freely and a way to grow as a person. Don't let the lack of an adventure partner stop you from doing the things you love doing. But also, in the same breath, if you're in a situation where you just feel like you're forcing it, or you're not comfortable out there, or you're just not feeling it, there's nothing wrong with packing it up, calling it quits for the day, and returning to your comfort zone. So I think that's enough of a rant and enough of a ramble. I'm going to get on with my day. I got a couple of men's league softball games tonight, a doubleheader, and I don't think my shoulder and my back are ready to take the hot corner and play third base again, but I can at least DH and hopefully help out my team in the batting lineup. So if you guys have made it through all my emotions and rants and rambles and everything like that, made it to this point in the video, if you're a subscriber, if you're somebody who gets motivation or inspiration from my experiences, if you're someone who provides a positive feedback and reaches out, from the bottom of my heart, I genuinely, sincerely appreciate you and love you all, and I can't wait to see you all on the next adventure.